There we go. Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Laugh Point podcast with my guest today, Rick McGray. Say
Rick
what's up.
McGray, remember the name.
Yeah, that's what's up. We actually have this is our second time recording this because first time kind of just I feel like it just kind of went off the walls. Didn't really,
No,
you
like
know.
the reason why I asked you not to post it was because I just was in a really bad mood that day, and
Yeah,
I was living in pure hell at that moment,
yeah.
and I just felt like a lot of the stuff I was saying was coming from like a manic place rather than a place where I was comfortable, and you know, I just some I guess some of this and that's basically it. Like that was the only thing. Like I was in so much pain that day, and I just didn't. And like there was, like we talked about a certain comedian, but we're not like I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna make it clear that they're not from Edmonton, and I just don't like bringing that person's name up because every time I do, it just seems like it comes back and gets me like some sort of like some sort of like backlash, right?
Karma, yeah.
Yeah, it's not even karma. It's just I think it's just I don't even know what it is. I don't want to talk about it too much, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, that was basically it. Other than that, I thought it was a good podcast for the most part. It was just that I just didn't feel comfortable
Yeah.
with it myself because I just didn't feel like I was presenting my best self at that time. That's
That
what I'm
to
saying.
me is the only time I won't post because there was an episode where like the guest even said like he was like, yeah, I've done other episodes where they've had to cut it, like, and I was just like, no, it's raw, I don't care, I don't really, but in that case I was like, yeah, I'm not just gonna be like, no, fuck you, I'm gonna
Yeah,
put,
which was
you
cool that you
know
were like that because like it's true. Like, and you probably and most people wouldn't have given me another chance to come on your podcast again, right? Like I would have totally got that. But I'm grateful that you have me back on. I appreciate it.
Dude, I first of all, I just want to take time for a sec and say I want to thank everybody. Like, I'm trying not to get emotional here
Can I say
because,
something first?
yeah.
I want to take the time to say something. I want to thank absolutely nobody.
Absolutely no.
I don't want to thank anyone.
Oh,
I'm not thanking anyone.
oh yeah,
Okay?
the fucking Conor McGray. No, but I actually
The double champ spoke.
bottom of my heart, I really want to thank you guys for watching and sharing these podcasts because back when I was in Toronto starting comedy and I had just this idea of like this would be a cool podcast. It just not like I know for a fact that I'm not the only podcast out there that just sits down and talks about comedy. I know that for a fact. But it I just wanted to find a way where I can just talk about my love of the game with the people who share the same love of the same game. And just the fact that not only have I been able to somewhat consistently do it now, but it's actually like the numbers are doing pretty well. Like the one with Benny is almost at like 1.5 thousand views now. It surpassed 1,000. It was crazy when it was at 500 and then it hit 1,000 and now it's still getting recommended to people and my friends are texting me like, yo, like I was like listening, like I was working with my buddies and we were listening to your podcast the other. I was like, this is all I want. Like this is all, and so genuinely from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys, and also shout outs to Casey, best girlfriend in the world. Let's get this podcast started.
Who's
Uh,
Casey again?
oh my gosh, Casey's my very sweet, beautiful girlfriend who is in Newfoundland right now, St.
Oh,
John's.
poor girl.
She's visiting family for a couple months, so I am
Okay.
Casey-less, and it sucks a lot.
So you're what?
I Casey-less. I
He
don't know
just
what that.
created a word, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
He just created a new word.
yeah, exactly.
Caseless.
This is what happens on the Laugh Point podcast. No,
I
but
might
I
use that word.
actually do want to talk about something that's an upcoming project of yours that happens this month. Is it okay if I talk about it?
Sure.
So on November 28th at the Moon YEG, Rick McGray is hosting volume 2 of a new show that he has created called Flatter Battles.
Yeah, I'm
And
the flatter boss.
he's the flatter boss. And I would explain it, but honestly, you're the creator, so you can get ready, you can stretch and do whatever, and
Oh,
tell
trust me, I'm not going to be stretching.
tell the world what this is and why you
Well,
created it.
flatter battles was just like something like it's kind of funny because like, and you can talk to Cool Dude. You know who I mean by Cool Dude, right? So you can talk to Cool Dude because Cool Dude was there from the beginning, and he's been a very supportive person to me, um, which has been great. And he's very good at what he does, and I appreciate that he puts the effort in that he did to the first show, and I know I'll get that from him every time.
Yeah,
Um, but
shout
Cool
out.
Dude was the one that was there, and I was gonna pitch a different show idea that I had because I had two ideas,
Mm,
and the other idea was gonna be like a late night type show, but it would be me as the host sitting at a desk, and I would just have comedians on the show, and it would just be comedians, and they would come up and do like their 5 to 7 minute sets or
like a
whatever.
TV set,
Yeah,
like you'd see on like
exactly,
Fallon and
exactly,
stuff like that.
exactly,
Yeah.
right. So that was my idea. You heard it here first. Left Point Podcast, hosted by Liam Anima, Rick McGray's idea. But anyway, and I was going to do that, but I didn't pitch that idea right away because I knew that um, it was too basic, and I knew that approaching them to do any show for the limited amount of time that I have been here, because I only came back here in March. I was here 4 years ago, and I did comedy back then in Edmonton, and that's how a lot of the people already knew who I was when I came back,
Yeah.
which was kind of like crazy because I remember that first night being in
Right.
March, but being back, it was a Friday, and I went to the Moon. It was the first venue I went to because I remember the Moon from when it first started back
Yeah.
when I was here before, and it's such a great place. Um, it's such a great community. There is a lot of kindness that flows through that place, and I went in to watch the open mics, and I remember standing in the lobby area, and I was thinking, I never thought about this till now. What if none of these people remember who I am? I said, what if I walk in here and guys like Steve Darnell walk past me, don't remember me, or uh, guys like Gulliver don't remember me. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like people that I talked to back then, and or just certain comedians. I just wish I was hoping that they would remember me. And luckily enough, Liam Connell came up to me and started talking to me, and he has always been like so supportive of me, and so he's such a great hang too. If you get a chance to have him on your podcast, you should have him on your podcast. That guy,
I'll hit him up
oh, he's
afterwards.
great, man. And he was always even when I was here 4 years ago, he was super cool to me all the time. And he came up to me, and once I knew that he remembered me, I was like, "There's no way that nobody else doesn't remember me, right?"
Mm-hmm.
So, and then a comedian started flowing in or whatever, and and then I was reassured, and then that was the first time I'd ever met Nick Von Dub, and Nick Von Dub gave me a spot on the show, and
Hell yeah.
I remember sitting there and just waiting for my turn. But
Ooh.
anyway, so I only came back in like March, and then like we remember that show we did in Grand Prairie together. Like I did a couple shows in Grand
That was
Prairie.
crazy. I still think it's crazy that kind of like the worlds align and we just happened to do that Can4 show together.
We did that Cam4 show. We and that show that you ran at that bar, like
Oh my
at the Lions Den there. We like
gosh.
a few of us like that were trying to do stand up. Like we all like those were like the only bits of stand up I had gotten in for 3 years before I got back here.
Yeah.
So anyway, then I just been kind of like working through the motions, getting used to the way of things again, getting used to um, how comedy is and the experience of it, both good and bad.
Yeah.
And because you forget about a lot of things when you're away from something for such a long time. And then I wasn't surprised to find some of the stuff still waiting when I came back to either. So
Yeah.
but it's been a great experience so far. Like, bar none, I think that the Edmonton comedy scene is the best comedy scene in Canada. I think we eclipse everybody. We have such a deep level of talent pool. There's so many middles here. There's headliners here.
Fucking the Logan
Logan
Trella,
Trella, yeah,
literally not even a year
not
into
even six. No,
stand
I don't
up,
even think he's in 6 months
not
in.
even 6 months into stand up, and he fucking was like got second place in the
And
Sorry
that, yeah, and
Comedy
that
Fest.
comedy festival, yeah,
Second over people that have been in the game for like 5+ years. I
yeah.
think one of the guys has been doing it for like 8, and he's been doing it less than 6 months, and he's all like, and the crazy, and it's because of all the tools that you have in the scene here.
And that too, that's a good point. That is a very good point. But another thing too, what's interesting, like especially about a guy like that, for me, someone like you meet people like that all the time.
Yeah.
Like I've met so many people that were just like really funny guys right out the gate, and
I hate. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, no, I hate
No,
them
no,
too.
it's
I hate
yeah.
them too, but I don't hate him. I don't
No,
hate him at
no.
all. He's a great guy, and
Shout out.
yeah, shout out for sure. He's a great guy, and he deserves what he's gotten.
I'm
Like,
having just one more. I'm having him and Wyatt on to talk about
oh, that's cool. That'll be a
the
good one.
festival. Yeah,
That'll be a good one
and then
because
I'm gonna have.
I'm sure that they both like both those guys. They earn their spot where they're at, right? Like they earn that.
Oh yeah,
Nobody can take that away from them. Like
no,
they went through the like no one sees like that's what was like. It's kind of cool. Um, like there's a comedian like Sterling Scott says I don't like name dropping as you know,
yeah,
and but Sterling like I watched a clip the other day where he said he kind of like because the guy like he kind of humbles me every time I'm around him. I kind of get feel humbled by him because he just has such a wealth of knowledge and experience in this game, and like we're similar age too. And he said like the joy is in the work, right? The joy is in the work, right? Like people don't see the background. They don't see you sitting down here in this dark basement, you know what I mean, writing your jokes or talking to your walls or whatever to rehearse. Um, they're not the ones that are standing backstage when they're about to be announced on the biggest show of your life, and you can't explain those nerves to people, you know, because you'd have to be any performer understands that.
yeah,
Performers understand that, but the people that don't understand it are the ones that are too afraid to get up there, and that's the reason why they won't get up there is because of those nerves.
yep.
See, but there's just something in us as performers.
The second you grab that mic,
The second you grab the mic, the second you hear the first laugh, the second, well, for me, the second I turn around, you know, everything kind of just goes away,
yep,
right? It just goes
all of
away,
it.
and then because in I don't know, this might sound crazy, but in a way, you're bending reality. You're bending reality to your will.
But yeah, you're literally going, okay, and you guys are gonna laugh now,
Yeah, and you're gonna
okay,
listen to me.
and then I'm gonna stop, and then I'm gonna keep going, and boom, now you're gonna laugh. See, I
Yep,
fucking knew, and it's yeah, absolutely right, dude.
right.
You're in a way, you're like it is bending reality is definitely like a interesting way of saying it, but yes, like you are
You
very
said
much
something
like,
cool the other day on a podcast too. I listened to one of your
mm-hmm,
podcasts, and you said the reason why I love comedy is because we're not trying to fix anything. We're just
no,
talking about it.
yeah,
I love that quote, man.
I live by that.
That's a hardcore line, man.
It's so true because we're just sitting in a room for an hour and we're just laughing at just how it is, and that's the beauty, and
You
the
should
thing.
clip that. You should clip that part and use that in an intro for your podcast, man. Because that's a pretty deep line for an 18-year-old kid to say or 19-year-old kid,
22, yeah.
however old you are. You
No,
know?
because I remember like actually because like when my one buddy asked me, he was like, "What does comedy like really mean to you?" And I said it something like kind of half-assed, and he was like, "No, no, no, like I want you tonight to go home, and I want you to actually sit down, and I want you to think to yourself, why do you especially love comedy?" And I came up with that because it really is like you look at what comedians talk about: politics, religion, death, all this crazy shit that's supposed to scare us, shit that they put on the news to try and scare us, shit that you go on Instagram and you see dead bodies. It's fun. It's crazy, right? But then instead of that, we're just going into a room and we're going, "That's fucking crazy," right? And we're just laughing about it.
I think generally most people want to be left alone. Like
Yeah,
I, if you ride the bus, you can tell most people want to be left alone. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Nobody wants to really like. It's too much effort to fight with other people. It's too much effort to even hang with other people. Like I have crazy social anxieties, right? Like for like it's even to drag myself here was extremely hard. It's just the way I am as a person when it comes to uh hanging out with people or anything like that. Because I have this problem where if I start hanging out somewhere and I start to feel comfortable, I start to open up a little bit more, and then I start to be a little bit more teasing and a little bit more uh, uh what's that word? I don't know. I can't think of the word right now. Like a more smart alecky, like I'm more of a
yeah,
smart ass, right?
yeah,
And stuff like that. And then and I tend to overstay my welcome because I don't know when to leave, right? Like I don't
right.
know when the right time to leave is. And like that has blown up in my face more times than I can explain to you. But like I say, but anyway, like I was saying, getting back to the flatter battles thing. Um, so I went to, I was there and I knew I wanted to pitch an idea for a show,
Yeah.
and then I was gonna go pitch that one that I was talking about, that Tonight Show idea kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was walking up to talk to Trish, shout out Trish Hall, um, as I was walking up to the counter to talk to her, my thinking completely switched and said, because I've always been interested in roast battling. I'm not even gonna lie, I've always been interested in roast battling because,
Same.
like, I think I would be, I think I could be good at it because I am. Once I get into it, as a zone, I feel like I could probably be successful at or in it, right? But as I'm going up and I'm thinking to myself, uh, I don't know, how do you pitch this? And then it just says, it was like this thing in my brain just told me just flip it and make it about compliments, like because my friend who passed away, Pat Stay, he invented compliment battle rapping, and the battle rap is more like a roast
Mm-hmm.
battle, right?
Yeah,
Just
like
with
it's
rapping, just
yeah.
like compliment battling is uh, rap battling, but with compliments. And
Mm-hmm.
him and another person who's a very famous artist as well. He works for Barstool. His name is Roan, and Roan is him and Pat were the ones that they did the first compliment whatever the hell you want to call
Yeah,
it,
compliment battles.
compliment battle. They did that in Halifax, and
Yeah.
the very first one. So when I was going up to her and I was like, I thought I was like that would be a great idea because it completely just goes the other way,
Yeah.
right? And it kind of lines up with like what goes on at the moon too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, a lot of kindness flows through that place. And when I went up to her and I was talking to her about it, and you know, you just normal talks like how you go through things and stuff, and I'm trying to convince her of the idea and stuff, and trying to convince her that I'm the one that needs to be the one to host it and all that stuff. And then you came out, and Ethan Januario came out, and you guys overheard what we were talking about. And I'd already told you about it, I think, and I'd already told Ethan January. I definitely had already told Ethan January, but I tell that kid pretty much everything. Not
Yeah.
everything, but pretty much everything. He's a really good friend of mine. I would consider him at this point, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, and you came out, and Ethan January came out, and you guys did a compliment battle in front of us,
Yeah.
just randomly. And then she saw that it was like, oh, like it actually could work.
Because you made her laugh like a lot.
You guys made her laugh.
Yeah, we
I
made
didn't
her.
make anyone laugh.
Well,
I
yeah,
was just standing there like hoping in my head, like, I hope these I hope these motherfuckers get this right. You know what I mean? Like
and
I
we
was like,
did.
and you guys knocked it out of the park.
Like, just it
Which is the
was
reason
yeah,
why you were on volume one. Which is the reason why you're back as a production assistant for the second one.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Which is why you'll be on future shows, right?
dude. I'm
And Ethan January, same thing. He was on the first one. He's a production assistant on the second one. You
mm,
know what I mean? Um, it takes a village to build shows like this, and then it's just it kind of it bends it bends the like the concept of comedy too, because everybody has always associated a roast with being something negative or mean or
Yep.
whatever, and I want to switch it to it being nice, but that doesn't mean that it needs to be completely nice. Like, you
Yeah.
can be sarcastic, you can be
Backhanded
backhanded, you
compliments.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, as long as it's nice. You know that snobby person that you get in a fight with at work that you don't like,
Yeah.
and you just shoot subliminals at each other through your little few words, you know?
Yeah.
That's what it could be like. That's a flatter battle in itself, right? But the
It's like,
over
yeah, oh, I love how much little work you did today.
yeah,
Like, it's
exactly.
just
Yeah,
the little amount of effort you put in today.
that's right.
I really loved that,
Yeah, I
you
really
know?
love that. I really love that you did absolutely dick all today, because
Yeah,
it really taught me about the type of person that I am, which is a person that doesn't need people like you.
exactly. Yeah.
You know what
And
I
so,
mean?
but
And that's just off the top.
but
That's what you get from
but
Rick
the
McGray.
funniest part was everyone came with like not only nice shit but like really really funny shit, because the one thing that I had a couple people come up to me specifically,
Flatter
uh
Battles one was amazing.
oh
Like,
my,
to get to the show time and all the stuff that I did
oh
pre to it. Like nobody knows. Like, I was going through such a crazy amount of hell
yeah,
during those months, to like where,
prepare
because I was
for.
I was living in a place where the apartment wasn't in good condition. I'll just leave it at that. And because I'm not trying to fucking shit on anybody or anything like that, you know what I mean? But anyway, and I was fighting through all that shit, and I was on the bus every day, like hour bus ride to work, sitting at the back of the bus, creating all those things, blah 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 blah. But it was all inspired by Pat Stay, and that was the reason why I went that way.
That night was just like
And then yeah, and then to get to the night where,
unbelievable.
like, at first, like, I was like, man, I don't like. You always wonder if people are going to show up, and then at first there was no one there. You were there. You
Oh,
saw it.
dude, I think it got to a point where we started to get nervous. We
Yeah,
started to get nervous
yeah,
because it was like 15 minutes before showtime, and
yeah,
only five people of like I think 30 to 35 people that bought tickets had showed up.
yeah.
But then it was like it was almost as if like God was watching and was like,
It's
all
it's
right,
crazy because that night I looked up at this guy and said, "Come on, guys, you got to help me out." And
and
then next thing you know, it
and then next thing you know, the door opens, like group after group. It literally almost seemed like they all carpooled together. It was such a coincidence of timing that it like we almost all the comics kind of looked around and were like, did they like are they like a family or something? Like,
yeah.
and honestly, yes, the moon is a family.
But like you said, like, and like, but like those, like that first event was a great success for sure, and I was really happy and
So
appreciative of
incredible.
everybody that took part in it and stuff like that too, and proved that the concept had feet, at least.
I was
Because at the end of
so
the day, it's about being funny, and at the end of the day, it is about being nice too. But, you know, like the battles that happened in Volume One, like Daniel McHale and Drew Sicko, like, there is no way to, like, I don't think that I've ever had a show that started off so well because of an opener than with those two. That was the best opening act, whatever you want to call it,
yeah.
that I'd ever seen on
I mean,
any
yeah,
any
I
show that I've ever
remember
been
I
on.
remember looking at them. And I remember being like, I just like, yes, this is amazing, but also just being like, fuck, how am I gonna top this? And then,
Exactly.
but the other thing is like, it's
They set
that
a high bar right out the gate.
I don't think I've ever been to a show like that was the first show I've been to where even the comics I knew that have been in the game for like so long now, they were like, I've never done this before. Like it's
Yeah, it's not something
nobody
anybody's ever done
ever
before.
does. So it was like we all had no idea how we were gonna, like, I was looking at my notes because usually with like jokes and stuff, like you kind of have like a somewhat decent caliber of like, okay, they should probably like laugh here, whatever. But in this, it's like I had even people coming up to me and being like, Yeah, I wonder how they're gonna pull it off, like being nice and funny.
Everybody said that.
Everybody
That
said
was the
that.
number one
Yeah.
thing I heard the most was how are you supposed to be nice and funny? And Volume One was just a. I have the video. It's a pure example of it's possible. You know what I mean? There were so many
Absolutely.
good performances by people: Drew, Daniel, Nick Von Dub, Dan
You know
Broderick.
what you proved?
Um, you know, uh, Kevin Gonzalez and Gary Z was a really fun one. You and Anthony's hug at the end was really fun.
Oh, when the
Um,
yeah, yeah. That was a really
and like Leo and Adrian, like they were great. Haley and Kevin, the winners, like that was that
fuck.
it was just Cindy Rivers and Aaron Hill. Like Cindy Rivers, I think, like I said this, and if I would have had more of a budget to do individual awards, I definitely would have gave one to Cindy Rivers for sure,
Yeah.
because she absolutely killed it. She stayed right on, like right on par with what I. It was kind of like what I saw
Hmm.
as, like, as close to a perfect performance for a flatter battle as I could, because it was her jokes. It was all jokes.
Do you
Like,
know what you did? You showed that it's not about being nice or being mean or being weird or anything like that. It's about the energy. And if you can have a show that brings any kind of like huge wave of like emotional energy that
well,
includes
I'm an
laughs,
emotional being, so that's not a
that
problem for me.
it right. So it just because it wasn't, just because we're being nice and not mean doesn't mean that we can't bring that roast
the
level
first
of
the
energy.
first thing with the first part of it, the first one of all things was just a big dedication to Pat Say. At the end of the day, that's basically what that was.
Yeah, this whole
For the
thing.
type of stuff like that guy, while he was here, while he was alive, and I take the opportunity to talk about him anytime I can, because he was actually a person that I had a really hard time becoming friends with. He did not like me when he first met me. A lot of people don't realize that. Like, me and him weren't very good friends. Like, he did not believe I was funny. He didn't think I could act. He 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 was, because he had such a high expectations for, or he just, I don't know. He needed convincing, and he really did. And I had a friend, still have a friend, the greatest filmmaker in Canada, Mark Sawatsky. Um, I've worked on so much stuff with Mark Sawatsky, uh, like 48-hour film competitions, and that's where I met Pat. Was we did a movie called Purple Dream, and Pat played a euthanasia agent who was going to kill me at the end of the movie because I was mentally ill. So in Canada, you can technically just be put down by um, assisted suicide.
Hmm.
And that was the concept of the film, was
Okay.
because my family didn't want to take care of me anymore. So they took me to the maid guy,
Hmm.
and he was just like I wish that I wish I had a clip of that. I still had that movie, because I would definitely send it to you so you can watch it. It's actually really good. Mark's like one of the, like, he knows how to translate comedy from, like, right as we're talking, but onto the camera. Like, he knows how to make the jokes pop out at you, so when you're watching it, you can say, "Oh, okay,"
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And he was the creator of Unreasonable Rob, and we had talked about Unreasonable Rob for a long time, and then Pat took on the character of Unreasonable Rob, and they had made a whole bunch of sketches, and that's when I got kind of like, that's when Pat started kind of warming up to me, because I was pulling off these things in these sketches that, and I wasn't even talking. I was just, it was just a lot of silent, because I love silent stuff, right? Like, I love silent acting, and like, just like like using your face, using your body, like my almost like miming, I guess it would be called. But I don't really, I wouldn't want to say I like to mime. I just think that's not cool. But maybe it is cool. I've never done it, but um, it's kind of like, I like that type of physical, like, comedy and stuff,
Hmm.
and to kind of like being that guy in the background that's just doing weird shit, or doing something that you're gonna like, oh, what's that guy in the background doing? That's me. Like, I would do that every scene. It didn't matter what they were doing. I would always walk in the background trying to get on the camera doing something, like if I walk by and scratch my balls or something, just so the people will be like, what the fuck, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
Just so you can even be like, oh, that's me.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
like so I definitely believe like Mark never had a problem believing in me. Like he always thought that, and he still to this day, like believes in like in my ability as like what I can do as an actor and what I can do as a like as a comedian. But I'm I've always been kind of like good at that comedic acting, like kind of like being funny on film because I kind of just get into a space where I just as long as the emphasis is not on me, I can do it. But when the emphasis is on me, I struggle with that sometimes, um, which is something that I still need to work on and stuff. But like then the Trailer Park Boys, uh, they picked up his show after they created all these sketches, and we had done a commercial right before I had moved out here. We did a commercial um, for some car company in Nova Scotia or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I played this guy that just wore dark glasses at a little girl's basketball game, and I had a video camera and nobody knew, like I had no kids there or nothing like that. Like like I just kind of like stood in the background, but I was in every scene of the commercial as the guy with the camera, like running up to pat and them, and like we're like looking in the camera and stuff, and uh like just yeah. And he, from what Mark told me after when they were editing it, he was so taken back by my physical ability with my face. Like he's like he didn't realize that that there was that element to me, you know. And then once he figured that out, it was like a couple months later, he was like, "Did you move away?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did." And he's like, "Oh fuck." He's like, "Man, I had this really big opportunity coming up in November." He's like, "I wish you would have told me that you were leaving." I was like, "I did tell you," and but he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "If you can make it back here," he's like, "Yeah, it's a pretty big deal." And what it was that the Trailer Park Boys picked up the show after they saw all the other sketches, and they wanted to put it on their network called swearnet.com,
Yeah.
but now it's called Trailer Park Boys Plus,
Yeah.
and they wanted to put it on there. So we shot that show. He put me on that show. He didn't need to do that, and he told me afterwards like that he had only like him and Mark, they had only created that character that I played for me, and if I didn't play it, there was nobody else that was going to play it. Like it
Wow.
was just for me. Like like they wrote that show with me in mind. I'm sure that a little bit of it might have been based off me because I can be kind of unreasonable at times, especially in traffic. And and Mark can attest to that because Mark's hung out with me. Mark's shared a hotel room with me before. Like he knows
Yeah.
exactly how I am, right? But and then when, but that whole experience like shifted me because at that point still I was like still thinking like, do I even want to go after this anymore? Like why am I wasting my time? I'm not making any money doing this. Like what am I doing this for? Like
Mm-hmm.
why is this so important? Why do I need to do it? Why can't I just, grow up and get a real job? And like cuz that's like because in my previous relationship that was like the only thing that was stopping me from stop was stopping that relationship from working was the fact that I didn't want to settle down. I still don't. I'm 40. I'm gonna be 42 next month, and I feel like I'm just gonna roll till the wheels fall off, man. I don't want to stop, right? But at the same time, like I do want to. There's other things I like want to do, like I want to with writing and shit like that. But you know, but flatter battles to me is just it was that thing that I needed to do to set myself up
Yeah.
on my own,
Mm-hmm.
like to kind of be like, hey, like it's great that all these people are running shows and stuff like that, and everybody's doing that. That's wonderful, but I can do that too.
Dude, it all these shows that have been like started up, like Ethan started his own
I'm
show.
on that show next week, November 14th.
Crazy enough, he asked me if I wanted a spot, but I'm gonna be in Grand Prairie doing my first corporate gig.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, doing my first court.
Who are you doing that with?
It's a company called Alta Gas.
Did you set it up yourself?
Uh, Funnily enough, I got reached out to because it was
Oh, you know somebody.
my mom's husband's friend. She messaged me and was like, "Hey, we're doing this party on the 14th. do you want to be the comedian? I was like, yeah. And she's like, okay, send the set. I sent over a set. They were like, we loved it. And then they had like a meeting, and then they were like, yeah, we'd love you to have you. And
Send a set. Wow.
yeah, so but the thing is like I'm in my head, I'm like, there's a 50% chance that I go up there and I like do pretty well, or I
You'll
just go up there and I bomb like
It
just.
doesn't matter either way because even if you bomb, no one's going to see it. But this one company, like,
Yeah,
right?
and but
Gives a
it's
shit.
it's funny because I
Just do your best. That's all you can
yeah,
really
no,
do,
that
right?
so that's what. But yeah, so Ethan asked me to be on his show, but I unfortunately had to say, I literally would have said yes any other time, but yeah.
Yeah, he
And
asked me to
then
be on the show. I didn't expect that. I've been asked, like, that's the thing. Like, I've been asked to be on a few shows since
yeah,
Flatter Battles, and
um
like shows have been
popping up
like high level.
all of
A lot
these,
of these shows have been really high level.
and they keep popping up, and you know what, it actually inspired me, and now I'm actually creating my own show.
You're
And
actually doing a stand-up comedy show.
I'm creating a show that kind of combines not just stand up. I want to also like, because I kind of got inspired from what Janessa's doing, because she'll have like musical acts too.
Oh, I see.
So I want to do music and then comedy, but the my kind of spin on it is afterwards. And I know how many people would be interested in this, but I want to do like afterwards, all the comics compete in a video game tournament.
That's actually kind of cool.
And
And you should tape that. You should tape that for content.
I could live stream the tournament.
Yeah, you could. You should tape that for content. And two. So
Yeah.
what's your show going to be called? Funny Guy Club.
It's actually called Next Level Comedy. Jeez. No, but it's I'm
No,
gonna
I'm
call
really happy for Janessa and her success with Silly Guy Club.
Silly Guy Club. Shout out. She wants me to do the musical either intro or outro again, because I wrote a parody of
Yeah, I
the
saw
Big
that one.
Comfy Couch.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah,
And
there's been a lot of great shows. Rachel Gray has a lot of shows going on, like
mm,
with her company called the Chuckle Cult or whatever it's called.
I
Pretty sure that's
saw
what it's
that.
called, Chuckle Cult.
I saw that. Yeah.
And she's doing a lot of stuff. I have like that show next week with Ethan January show, and uh I was asked to be on Rachel's show, her next show in December, and so I got a few shows coming up, which is really great. You know, like I appreciate the support that I get from the stand-up community. I mean, I don't know, like I know I'm honestly not the greatest
It's
comedian of all
no,
time, but
it's crazy the support that people give you. Not only that, but like, you look, there's a page I saw the other day of like, is like a big poster of every single show, and
yeah,
there's so many
Kevin
shows
Light
that
does
like
that.
each one of them is like a tiny little square, and there's like at least 30 to 40 of them just this month.
Yeah.
Like at
Oh,
least
you're talking about
like the
the
posters.
YEG thing?
Yeah, because there's a new social media
Yeah,
that
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
posts
Yeah, I've
all
been
of
talking with
the.
them. Yeah, I've been talking with them.
I who run Do you know who runs that?
Yeah,
Is it a comic or
yeah,
no? One of that we know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, you just don't want to name drop
Well,
or
I just
anything.
don't. I don't
You don't know
like. You
if
never know.
they.
Like they
Yeah,
might not
that's
appreciate their
true.
name being dropped because they might be.
Yeah.
You never know what people are doing. See, that's the thing. Like I wanted to say this on this before, like if before it runs out. If we run out of time, I don't know. But listen, like there's a difference, which I think that people get mixed up with in stand-up comedy. Right? There's a difference between talking shit and starting shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
There's a difference between talking shit and starting shit. When you're standing around and you're with like a group of your fellas that you know that you're tight with in the comedy scene, and you're talking shit about whoever, whatever they do, whenever they do it, whatever, that's one thing, right? That's just words,
Yep.
right? But when you start shit is when you start going after them or whatever. And some people are okay doing that, right? So what I guess what I'm trying to say is that when it comes down to that type of stuff, just try to remember what you're trying to do. Are you trying to just talk shit or are you trying to start shit?
Yeah.
Because like
And on this podcast, we don't start shit.
because people will talk, right? Everybody talks. And I'm sure there's people that talk about me. I'm sure there's people that talk about everybody, right? To some degree.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that if you say that to the wrong person and that gets back to a host or anything like that, and then you can't get on shows,
You're fucked.
you're fucked. And you're
I
wondering,
oh
you're like,
my
why
gosh.
can't? And that was something I didn't realize early on in my comedy career, was because I have such a trusting. I'm very trusting to people for the most part. And not trusting as well. But I am gullible to a point too as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that you're talking to friends, and you're not. You can tell who your friends are. You can,
Yeah.
but I mean, sometimes maybe you can't, right? Because we're not all the smartest people in the world. If we were the smartest, we would be probably in a lot better of a situation, not
Yeah.
doing this shit. That's for sure.
Oh.
But that's the thing. So like, if it's good to have your grievances about your experience, and I don't mind listening to people talk about their experiences, and be that good, be that bad, because you hear it from everybody. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
talks about it. Like I feel like we've had conversations. We'll use you as an example because you're right here. Like you're talking about how I'm missing out on this, or
Yeah.
I'm uh, I'm getting passed over for this. Maybe I don't. You haven't said that part, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
just say if you did, right?
Yeah.
You're allowed to have those grievances. You're allowed to feel that way,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay to feel that way,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to remember that whatever ear that you're talking to, you have to be 100% sure that
In
you
oh.
can rely on that person, because there's not a lot of that in this game. Like you'll meet so many people, but there's no honor.
There's a line that I think just goes so well with comedy, and it's forgive but never forget. Like there's I think
Yeah.
comedy is just one of those games where like I learned very quickly. There's this 3 hour, and for anybody who hasn't watched it, even if you're like eight, like how doesn't matter how long you've been in comedy, it's just such an interesting. Ralphie May
Oh
has a
yeah, dude.
3 hour
Oh
comedy
yeah, for sure.
masterclass,
Yeah.
and
It's so crazy that you said that.
in
Yeah.
one of the things, he says, well, in his
He says
version,
straight up,
he
I'm
says
not friends
don't
with
fuck.
comedians. He
He's
says it straight up.
yeah, he says he's not friendly, but he also says something about like don't fuck the wait staff, and that's the same thing as like whenever you go to like a new club, doesn't matter
I've
like
heard comedians say
how
that.
shitty it is,
Yeah.
you you have to be like respectful to the wait staff, because even just as simple as like just like being rude to one of them, that's going to spread to that, and then it's going to spread to the
Well,
manager,
your
and
reputation's
then
everything.
and then
Yeah.
you and then like your reputation at the club is screwed, and then people don't want to see you there, and then you're
Or
and
even if
then
they
you're
see
gonna
you there, they're not going to.
and then even if it's just, for example, just this one club, now you're going to be the guy who's known for literally being such a dickhead that they were kicked out of this one club,
Yeah.
and you don't want to be that guy, because that can start an absolute downhill spiral of, oh well, we heard from these people who heard from these people that you're just not that great, so we're sorry, we have to we have to cancel your show type shit.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Like,
No, for
to
sure.
be so careful with what you say
You
in
do
this
have to
game.
be, because like I've heard hosts say like, oh, I heard about this person talking about me behind my back, and they don't think I know. And then you hear that person, and then you might hear those same things that are being said, and it's just like you want to tell the person like, hey, like, don't say it in front of a group of people. Like,
Yeah.
don't say it in front of a group of people, like, or loud enough that everyone can hear it. If you have a grievance with somebody, go talk to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go
That
talk to
is.
them, or talk to someone that you consider a friend. Like, and like I say, who your friends are. Like,
Yeah.
you just have to watch how people act. If you watch how people act, it tells you everything. Like, it's just it's the story of our lives. Like, is the way we act. That's what it is.
Yeah. No, I fuck, man.
Because I've felt that so many times in my comedy career, for sure. And I'm not anywhere further ahead or back. I've never done. I've been on big shows, right? And I've done a lot of the things that I've wanted to do. Like I got on uh in Nova Scotia, a public access program, stuff like that. Like, just I did them all on a very small level, like not like a big level, like a big streaming thing or anything like that. Like, I did kind of get to a streaming, but it wasn't like a huge streaming service. It's a Trailer Park Boys. Only Canadians know about that fucking shit. You know what I mean? And the fact that Pat Stay died literally 2 months before it dropped, and it just never took off because we never had the anchor like anymore. Like, he was the anchor of the show. And if it wasn't for him, the show wouldn't have happened. And then when there was talk after to keep the show going, I was completely against it. I was completely against it. I would never ever, if they would have tried to do another season, and I've said this to Mark. Mark knows this, so he's the only person I really care about in that sense of being. And I know that the rest of the cast probably wouldn't be offended by me saying this either. But I would never have even considered going back to do another season without him.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to do 3. And if they would have tried to push it just to, for honor some contract or some bullshit like that, which they didn't.
Right.
I would never have done that show. There's no way I would have did it. And people were telling me that I was like I was an important part of that show, this, that, in the third, whatever the hell you want to call it. That's fine. I was great. I'm glad that people enjoyed what I do. That's all I do this for. I do this to be a performer.
Yeah.
And to get out what I want to get out. And, I've always associated happiness with good things, like, because the way I grew up, it was not always happy all the time.
Yeah.
At all. Like, this guy's falling asleep on his own podcast.
No, I'm not falling asleep.
He's falling asleep.
I'm not falling asleep. I closed my eyes for 2 damn seconds.
He fucking fell asleep on his own podcast.
No, okay.
This is how he treats his guests.
I actually do want to say quickly.
Don't come on this podcast.
I think we did get sidetracked. The show.
Sidetracked on what? How did we get sidetracked? Explain to me. Explain to the viewers. Explain to the viewers how we got sidetracked.
We went from you asking what my show was called to talking about your show.
Yeah, you said it was called Funny Guy Club.
No, you said it was called Funny Guy Club,
yeah,
and then
I think you're gonna have to go back. I think you're gonna have to look back at the footage, Jack.
We'll cut back right there.
You're gonna have to,
and we'll do a Rick Glassman. And we're back.
What's this Rick Glassman stuff?
No.
This is Rick McGray is the only Rick that's supposed to be said on this podcast. It was firmly in my contract. It was firmly worded in my contract that no other Ricks were to be mentioned unless I mentioned them. Because I can't stand other Ricks. Okay?
I'm sorry, guys. I thought this wasn't gonna happen.
What? You fall asleep and I'm supposed to sit here and feel good about it? Wow, I'm pouring out my heart to you, and I'm supposed to feel good about it? Sheesh.
The show is going to be called Next Level Comedy.
Ooh.
So Next Level Comedy is the name, and I thought of it because
that's actually a good one.
Because of like the gaming aspect. You go to the next level, and then
I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Like, I love that idea.
Thank you.
Especially if you get people who don't know how to play video games. Playing,
that's the whole point,
because that would be funny to watch.
Then I want to because I myself, like, I'm a competitive gamer. I play like I've played
platform. You were playing when I got here.
I was literally I've played platform fighting games professionally, and in my head I'm like, I think it'd be so funny to see Daniel and Drew Sicko face off or at least 4 comedians do like a Mario Party. You know what I mean? Or like,
Mario Party's fun,
right? Or or something where like we can have like a bracket and then a final showdown. Or like, what if we do Mario Party mini games? Like, what if we do the mini games and then we get down to like the final 2, and then we like.
That's your concept. You're working it out.
I'm working it out, and I think
Next Level Comedy coming soon.
In a couple months,
hosted by Liam Anima.
In a couple months, I'm going to be going down to the moon to talk.
Doing his first corporate. When? December 14th. Be there.
No, it's
November 14th.
November 14th.
November 14th. Liam Anima. Sorry.
Yeah.
Liam Anima. Corporate. Big show. Big 5 minutes.
Big 5. No, 30.
Big 30.
They want me to do
Big 30.
Big 30.
He's featuring.
I'm featuring.
Your feet. Is there any other comedians on the show?
I'm there. I think they said like they're. You know what's crazy? This is how I know it's a 50-50 because
Is there any other comedians?
No,
That's bullshit. Man.
Not only is there no other comedians, but they're doing speeches beforehand. so it's gonna be like speeches about how great the company is, and then I'm gonna go up and talk about pussy and seizures.
May I offer a suggestion?
Yeah.
Bring someone with you.
Oh, I have
Bring Gary Z with you or something.
That's the thing. I wanted to talk to them and say like, could I maybe like? I know it's last minute, but like, could I maybe like? I have a couple.
Because you probably could like you could probably pull off. Like, I'm not saying this to poke at you or nothing either. You could probably pull off a solid 10 to 15 minutes, I think.
Yeah. Right? No, dude.
But a half an hour is a far reach.
They're not going to hear this. I can't do half an hour solid.
That's a far reach.
That is 30 minutes.
That's hard for anybody.
I'm in my 4th year. I'm in the point where I'm solidifying the 10 to 15 minutes so I can go on the road and build like 20. And
that's what I'm saying. Like, just bring someone with you, and just
I'll ask them.
And it's just like right
probably going to be a no, but it would be
just
really
bring them
funny.
with you. Just bring someone with you, and then right in the middle of your right at like the 10-minute mark, 15-minute mark of your set.
All right.
And your next comedian is Gary Z.
No, imagine this. And your next comedian.
Gary.
No, imagine this. All right, and your next comedian, Uncle Hack.
Oh, that would be crazy.
Oh my! He goes up, does the fucking Kanye West bit first thing he does.
That guy's he's amazing, man.
The fact that I got to do the Danger.
How did that go?
Oh my god! Okay, so I actually wanted to talk about this on the podcast because I actually, as well as it went, I actually did fumble in terms of comedy, and I hate that I did because it was. I think there was like 250 people there. It's a pretty good.
Were you juggling?
No, what happened was I did I did a decent like because what I've been doing recently is I've been like trying to do like at least 30 seconds to a minute of like improv / crowd work so I can like kind of stretch out my set even longer, right? And so I went up there, I did the minute, it went because I went up there, first thing I said was like, man, this is great. I mean, like this place does weddings, you know, and that got a pretty good laugh. And then another guy was like, they do funerals too. And I was like,
was it in a hall or something?
It was at it was in 5 Mile Hall. Yeah, 5 Mile Hall. And
I'm trying to think of where that is. That's in Grand Prairie, you said, right?
Well, it's like, do you know
I know Grand Prairie pretty good.
Plaza?
I know Grand Prairie pretty good.
Yeah, Cobblestone Plaza.
Which is that?
It's like the...
Is that KFC Plaza?
No.
That's what's crazy. Grand Prairie actually has a motherfucking place called KFC Plaza.
Yeah, that's true. And you want to know why? Because that's the only exciting thing about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The place across from it is like this weird Filipino store that sells literally things nobody wants.
The oldest stuff that you'll ever buy in your life. I bought a bottle of Coke from there one time, and it was like bad. Like it had gone bad.
Dude, that store
that was
is
crazy.
Like they'll go to other stores and be like, what
I'm
do you
talking about that convenience
want?
store. The convenience store besides Canna Cabana.
Yeah.
Not the Chinese or whatever that place is at like the Asian, we'll say, cuisine place. Yeah, I know. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Is that the one you're talking about, or are you talking about the store?
No, so there's a plaza with like the
there's a cupcake place there.
Okay, so the Cobblestone, the one that I'm talking about, it has Shoppers, it has Freshco, it has the Starbucks, and then across from it there's like a Subway, a liquor store.
Okay.
So that area, if there's like kind of like a left-hand turn and then just like a big road. If you just follow that road, literally 5 minutes, you'll be at the hall. So it's like barely outside of Grand Prairie.
You know what my nickname from Grand Prairie is? Escape room.
Why?
Because it's an escape room. That's what it feels like when you live there. You're trying so hard to figure out the hell out of there.
Oh my! The way I described it in my new joke is it's just
in his new 5.
It is just it's a glorified truck stop.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It really is. Like you just because
when you first moved there, they're like, oh, there's so much transient crime here. It's like because people are just passing through. It's like yeah, of course they are.
The most exciting thing that happens on the Facebook page is people lose their wallets.
And the thing about it too is like I'm from Nova Scotia, and I'm not saying that Nova Scotia is better than Alberta because it's not, but like Nova Scotia's towns are huge. Like they're huge towns. In Alberta, every town is small. Like
Every town has
every town is small.
at least 50,000 gourds.
What is the gourd?
It's
What's that
just
mean?
a name. Like I've every Alberta town that I've been to, at least one of the people that I know knows a guy named Gord.
If anybody knows what a gourds are, comment on this. Smash that, smash,
Smash that like,
smash that like
fuck
button.
the ever living shit out of that like button.
Fuck what he said. And then also hit subscribe
Yeah,
on the Laughing Point podcast,
on the Laughing Point podcast.
hosted by Liam Anima. And
Anima, you're actually, funnily enough, you're one of the few hosts that have actually gotten it right.
because you corrected me the last time I said it, and I kept saying enema.
Yeah, you said the word.
I've been calling you Liam Enema for almost 4 years now.
Yeah.
Because not 4 years, 3 years. I've known you for 3. Because I met you, like I said.
Okay.
We met in Grand Prairie.
Wait. My brain's coming back to it. My brain, no.
That's what I smell?
Dude, no. So the fumble at the Danger Cat show.
Oh yeah, right.
So I do the minute, whatever. I'm halfway into my set. All I have to do is just keep going and just finish the set. But for some reason, it's one of those moments. I think every comic knows that feeling. You're in such a zone that you're like, you know what? Fuck it.
Well, dude, you're on a show with like the baddest ass crew that you can possibly be on with in Canada.
Exactly.
Like anybody who gets to be on a Danger Cat show, you should consider yourself lucky because they're a lightning rod. You know what I mean? Everybody's watching them. Everybody's watching them. Everybody's looking to see who's associated with them. Everybody wants a piece of that action because those guys are out there and they're grinding and they're putting on for Alberta, and they're doing and like he's got for example, Uncle Hack the other day posted that he had 1 million downloads on his podcast. That's crazy for a one man gang to be out there doing what he's doing.
In Albertan podcast, by the way, not just so, because usually if it's like a Canadian, it's either in Toronto.
Do you know who Adam Blank is?
Huh?
Do you know who Adam Blank is?
I think so.
He's a famous podcaster from Alberta too, but it's a gaming podcast, and he's a comedian. He was a comedian.
I'll have to look that up.
But I think that I think I saw that he put up a message that he was taking a step back from comedy or something to focus on his podcast, because his podcast is like number 3 in the world for gaming podcasts or something.
Okay, that's wow.
Like that's all I'm saying is that it's possible, right? But like with those guys, everybody's watching them. Everybody wants to see what they're doing next. You know, they find a way to ruffle the current like matrix that we're living in to like make it so that they can be talked about, and they're doing great for themselves. I'm happy for them. I hope they do. I only see even bigger things coming from those guys.
They were performing at a place, and the premier of the place went out on television and said like, we're not permitting these people to perform at this event, and they did it anyways. And the crazy thing is they'll sell out a show, and then if it gets canceled,
as long as the TV hears about it, and as long as the TV says, oh, look who's coming, that's the only time that they ever have problems. If they just were to post their dates and just go to a place and some asshole doesn't call the media and say, hey, look who's coming through, those guys would have no problem. Those guys would have no problem.
That's how
they sell out everywhere they go.
They sell out. Okay, so that's like the show that I'm at. So and on not only that, I'm doing real, like, I'm every joke, every punchline is like a 10 out of 10 laugh, and I was just in that zone. And I think I said something
so
like...
So you're saying you were killing is what you're saying. You were killing.
I was killing, and I hate just thinking about it, but I paused and I went, man, you guys should come to all of my shows. and it was a good laugh. And then I said this though, which it got a laugh, but I shouldn't have said this, which is I said, yeah, because I bomb a lot, and then it popped, like it got a huge laugh, but I really wish I worded that differently. because when you're in front of a crowd like that,
and they laugh at you like that, that's kind of off-putting too.
that it is, because you're like,
Because you're like,
okay,
am I bombing?
are you exactly? Because in my head I was like, okay, so are they laughing
Because
because that
anytime
was
you
a
take a
funny
poke at
joke?
yourself and they laugh, they're thinking it. That's what I think.
So
When I'm up there and I poke at myself,
yeah.
I know that they're thinking it. Like the other night, I was on a show,
Oh,
and I said I was gonna give. I've been thinking about giving up on love because it just seems so hard with all the dating apps and all that stuff, right? And then I was staying at the bus stop going to that show, and these two blind people got off the bus with these seeing eye dogs, and they were on a date. I was like, these people have seeing eye dogs. They can't see each other, and they can't even see love, and they can find it. You know,
yeah,
like, is it me? Is it something I'm doing? It must be,
yeah,
right? It must be me.
yeah.
I was like, is it the beard? And when I said, is it the beard? Someone in the crowd went, yep. And I was like, oh, and it throws me off. Like, but that stuff doesn't bother me
But
because
see, the thing is
that's not the first woman that's ever been thrown off by
they
my
laughed.
face before. Let's admit that. Let's get that straight.
That's not
Think
even.
you're winning something? You think you're winning something?
That's not.
You ain't winning nothing.
That's not even the.
You ain't winning. Sorry.
It's okay. Rick McGray, everybody.
I just start rambling sometimes. It just comes out.
It's all good.
You want the real deal? You're getting it.
Fuck, what was I even gonna say? Oh yeah, no. So that's not even the worst part.
He's
funnily
physically
enough.
shaking right now. He's scared of me.
So the worst part was after I said yeah, because I bomb a lot and it got like a really good laugh, and I was like, oh, like are they laughing at the joke or the fact that they think I actually bomb a lot? And then I said this, and the worst part, I said I go, all right, let's get back into material.
So you got racist.
And yeah, pretty much. I said the N-word. No, but yeah, I literally said the words, let's get back into material. And
what was that? An impression of the Black Eyed Peas?
For people who don't do comedy, that you don't want to do that because you want everything to seem like it flows like smoothly.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
So when you go up there and you say something like that, you seem
well. Then they know that it's an act. Then they know it's an act.
Exactly, and then
it comes off as disingenuous.
Exactly. Right? So
you kind of have to like I say to people, because I don't give advice. You know this.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've asked me for advice before. Other people have asked me for advice before. Just because I've been part of this for a long time doesn't mean I know everything. Or right. I just know what I've seen, and I kind of feel like I have a pulse on what works and what doesn't. And you just have to be present.
Yep.
You just have to be in the moment.
And if you're roll with it.
Available and in the moment, and you say something, that's why people love being picked. Like people would say, oh, I don't want to get picked on by the comedians. I don't want to sit up front. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They've been waiting all day to be sat up front so that they can yell out something, or that you can say something to them so that they can be seen, they can be heard, they can be acknowledged. That's what we're all, it's a give and take of energy transfer both ways. And just happens to be, that's their way of getting that fix of comedy. Yeah. But for us, we need to get up there and refine ourselves and refine what we're saying so that we get as many laughs as we possibly can. Be that if you're playing a character, be that if you're being just an observationalist, if you're being a commentator. It's all the same at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right? And the most important thing that I would tell any new comedian is to be present in the moment, and don't let, like I was trying to say earlier, what Sterling said, like the pleasure's in the work. Like, enjoy the moment while it's there, because those moments, like for shows especially, like they're a very small piece of what we do.
Oh my gosh!
You put in 80 hours, 100 hours before you even get up for 5 fucking minutes.
The amount of time that you spend bombing versus doing even just decent is so like, people look at it and they go, oh, so, and that's why they like, oh, why.
And get comfortable with not doing good.
Oh no, literally
get comfortable.
First thing
get comfortable with not being good, because guess what? For the first few years in this shit, you're gonna suck. You might suck for 10 years.
Do you want to know something else? Those people you watch on
10 years
those people you watch on Netflix that's been even doing it for 25 years, tonight they could be going to a show bombing.
easily.
It doesn't matter. That the one thing that I learned that helped me, like, kind of, not like, because you'll never get over bombing, but like the one thing that kind of like almost like comforted me in a way
That's not
was
true.
knowing that, like, fucking Mark Norman, all the guys that I looked up to. I saw like a little documentary that Mark made. I paid like $10 for it, and it's Page to Stage, and he literally shows the process of one single joke from it absolutely, like, people are looking at him like, what,
Yeah, yeah.
to him being on a show with Jerry Seinfeld and Jim Gaffigan and doing that same joke and it murdering.
For me, with like bombing, like you just said, you never get over it. Like
Yeah.
I agree with that to a degree.
Yeah.
I feel like as you go along, you get better at handling it. Because I remember when I
So
first
much
started
better.
doing it, and I would bomb, I wouldn't be able to sleep for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And I bombed a lot, so I didn't sleep very much. But and then I mean, even now, like when I don't do well, I let it. I only let it bother me in that moment. Once that moment is past and I'm off the stage and I'm outside and I'm talking to everybody again, I say my few little bits of whatever I got to say, and I'll either take a step to the side by myself and kind of like just, because no one's ever going to be as mean to yourself as you, right? And I do that, but bombing is just part of it. You have to be like, if you're not doing good, if you're doing good all the time, you're not winning anything, you're not learning anything, you're not evolving. And if you focus on the fact on that negative part of it all the time, you won't even want to get up on stage after a while. That's why people don't get up there, because that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of going up there and embarrassing themselves. Who gives a shit? You embarrass yourself in your kitchen. You embarrass yourself when you step out the door. You could be walking to your car. Oh, hi, Liam, neighbor. Open the door, hit yourself in the face with the door. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much relation to everything, right? Everything's it's a tightly, it's like it's knitted, you know. But people don't pay attention to that shit, man.
The one of the things that's I heard from someone that also stuck with me was, uh, I think it was Louis C.K. was like, after you bomb, like, it's not a situation where like a family's gonna drive home and the whole time they're just gonna be like, oh, remember that fucking one guy?
No,
Like, literally the second they leave, unless you're the feature act or you did
the
insanely well,
headliner. Yeah.
the headliner, most people are just gonna remember the headliner and be like, oh yeah, and that other guy did pretty well.
They're
And
just
then
gonna remember the headliner. They're not remembering the rest of the
literally,
show. They pay for the headliner. That's
yeah,
who they pay for.
you
They
could
don't remember, like, unless you knock it out of the park, like you knock it out of the park. Then they're like, "Oh, that other guy was funny." That's the best that you're usually going to get from people. Yeah, I love the headliner Liam Anima, but that other guy was pretty funny. You know what I mean? That
exactly.
other guy was pretty funny. Well, what was his name? I don't know.
So that almost kind of carry, so like whenever I'd be like driving home and I'd be thinking to myself like, oh, how fun. I just say to myself like, yeah, but I'm the only one who's thinking this right now, so I just need to
Yeah,
stop, and the immediate next best thing to do is just get to work, listen to your set, start writing notes. You'll fall in love again, and you realize, oh, this is why I do it.
this is a
and
marathon, man.
and it's
This
literally
is a marathon.
a never ending marathon,
Yeah.
because Dave Chappelle said it best. He said, you the thing with comic stand up is, once you love it, you gotta start, and once you start, you just can't stop. It's that simple. You
Well,
just can't. Like,
there's
obviously, like, you like not
for the
literally
people that
as in
continue to
like,
do it. Yes, I agree with that statement. But
but
I've
like,
seen people go up on stage, Liam, and literally, uh, right before they went up on stage, I remember this one guy in Nova Scotia. He did my show at the High Life Social Club, which was a show that I ran for a year, and I performed there for 4 years every Thursday. And
mhm.
there was this guy that came in. He's 6'6". He's like 250 pounds, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna kill this, blah blah blah, this that the other thing, right? Blah blah. I'm gonna kill this." He goes up on stage. He says three things. Nobody laughs at anything. He's 30 seconds. He looks over at me, gives me the microphone back. I seen a guy one time go up there, and he loves comedy, right? Because I thought this, and like these are people that I probably encouraged a little bit too, but sometimes you don't get it right. I've been wrong about people before. You know what I mean? Like I've been wrong about people before, and this guy,
Love how
uh,
you pointed at me.
yeah,
Uh,
like I was wrong about you, and
what did you? Oh, now I'm curious.
but you know, like people like that, like this guy, I got him to get
Yeah,
up there, and he went up there.
yeah,
He said two things, and
yeah.
he literally stopped talking, and for about 30 seconds, he was just lipping his set. He was going
Because he was just in a state of like,
shock
yeah,
because he was just like he couldn't believe like because everybody wants the attention, right? We all want the attention
the
until the eyes
laughs
are
and
on you.
yeah,
And then that's what you like you said earlier about how it switches up, right?
so fast,
You know what I mean?
so
But
fast.
that's what makes it us different from them.
Well,
We're not afraid of the eyes.
the difference between that guy and when I'm about to go on stage is that guy is thinking about a million things like, oh, like what if I say this and this doesn't work, or what if I say this and this person. All we're thinking about is, oh, just please be funny, just please be funny, and then you get up there and like you're doing it not even like because like I remember like someone asked me, they were like, aren't you like really excited to like get a special and do this, this, and this? And I go, right now, I fucking love where I am right now. Because the thing is if you want to succeed in this game, you have to love every single fucking second, even the moments that are that's hell that you were
Yeah, we
describing.
were talking about
Like
earlier. Yeah,
you have
that's
to
the hell of
you
comedy
have
is
to
like
want to go through that.
you have to. Yeah, exactly. You have to be willing to go through the experiment.
Like
Yes.
I love to tell, like the fact that if you go on or if you go on Google and search up Leah Manama, it's not going to show a different Leah Manama from the United States. It's going to show me, Leah Manama, the Albertan stand-up comedian. And to me, that already, I'm so fucking proud of the fact that I get to tell people that I do stand up, that I get to make people laugh and spread joy, and I get to do this shit with crazy cool people like you and
Oh, I
Ethan
appreciate that, man.
and all of these, like the entire Edmonton scene. It's just like every day I'm blessed, man.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to bring to the table if you truly want to last in this game.
If you want like the work ethic. So okay, so I tweaked your interest because you feel like I dissed you a little bit just a second ago.
Oh
Is what I
no,
think you
that's it.
think.
I was
Is that
just curious, even just
yeah?
as to
Okay,
like,
I was gonna
because
say because
I
that would
know,
make me mad,
because no,
and then
I've
I'd really
even
start yelling.
no, I've even have had like some comics where I've watched them and I went, not really.
I didn't think you were great the first time I ever seen
Yeah,
you. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like how we were talking about earlier about how some people like Logan Trella for example. Like Logan Trella, his first show was at the Grindstone, and the Grindstone was packed with like 90 people because this kid lost a football fantasy league and the punishment was to do stand-up comedy, and that just happened to be the same night that Logan Trella decided to try stand-up. He shows up, the theater's packed, and I looked right at him and I said to him, dude, you've been saying God a lot too, dude. You've been anointed, man. That's what that is. Like you're, or
that's
that's
God's
if that's
blessing.
the yeah, that's a blessing, dude. You're being you're this is God showing you like right now that yeah, you're right where you need to be, buddy. You know what I mean?
My
This is for you.
my
And then
friend,
he goes and wins that story competition. He goes out there. He's opening for Dimitri Martin in theaters and stuff. Like there is guys like that, but there's guys that you're not sold on when you first see. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
I'm one of those guys. A lot of people don't know how to take me. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know what I'm here for, why I do it. I've had that happen to me a lot in my life where it's like, I don't understand why. I remember I had a job one time said, I don't understand why you got that position, but now that you're doing it, now I understand.
Yeah,
Because I always got to
it was
prove. I've always got to prove it.
my friend said the same thing when I got on the Great Outdoors, that stage, and I did that
Man,
set.
you did that 2 years in a row. That's fucked up.
He took, yeah, so funniest part, so I did that. I did that, and my friend literally said, like, that's God literally
That is.
telling you that Edmonton is where you need to
That's
be
it.
right
That
now.
is, man.
And I was
And
like,
that's what turned the road for me because
yeah,
I was like, like we're all works in progress. You were obviously going to have to work on it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Obviously, I seen you do well in Grand Prairie.
yeah,
I've told people about that show when they ask about like they ask about like if ask about you in specific, right?
Mm-hmm.
I talk about that show. You killed at that show. You did. You know you did.
Yeah.
Like that show was like at first glance it looked like it was going to be a really hard thing to get over.
Oh, the crowd looked like they
It was
didn't want
weird.
to.
It was
Yeah,
definitely weird.
it was really really weird because the crowd looked like they they were there not necessarily because they
No,
were
they were there
excited
because
to watch.
their boss told them that they
Yeah, it
had to
was
be
like
there.
they were like, "Oh, I'll go to this because it looks good for me."
But you've shown
And
like a crazy amount of improvement, like from the
yeah,
first time that I've seen you to now. Like, so that's all you can ask or expect of anybody is like
yeah,
is the evolution, right? And that's what I just try to do. I just try to be better every time I go. I'm not perfect every time I'm up there.
was
I'm not killing every time I'm up there. I
no,
don't even know if I
yeah.
would consider myself a killer personally, but
I mean, Jason Rouse said it best. He said,
it's a joke world.
you're you're only as good as your last show."
Yeah,
Right,
it's the
so
thing.
and when I heard him say that, I was like, he's so right, because you can have four killer sets in a row, like it and I mean like absolute, like you go up there and you are just like fucking mind bending these people, and then and then you go to this fifth show and you have like this rush, like, man, I've been doing so well, and then you just tank. All of a sudden it's like you're back to
Yeah, like all the good
what
stuff that happened didn't mean anything.
didn't mean shit,
That's right.
because in because that night you
Yeah,
did.
you gave yourself an excuse to be an asshole to yourself. That's
And you know
exactly
what, you
what it
get
is.
confident, and Nate Bargatze, I remember it, I learned this from him, and I'll never forget it. He said, not he didn't tell me personally, but he said, he was interviewing someone and he said, if you can, fuck, maybe I'm going off topic, maybe my brain's doing this thing, if you can, what is, oh no, no, my, I swear every podcast
He's
at
seizing
least
up.
once.
He's
No,
seizing up.
no, that's not what's
What's
happening.
going on?
Shit,
Do I need an EpiPen?
No, you don't need you don't need an epilepsy pen.
Do I need a drink of rum?
Yes,
I can't drink rum.
Yeah.
I don't drink.
No, because when I started stand up, one of the I have that autism where when I start something, before I even like do it, I want to learn as much as. But the thing about stand up is like you can only learn so much before.
And that's the thing too. Like when people come up to you at shows, it's like it's. I don't want to say it's annoying because it's not annoying, but it is kind of annoying. You know what I mean? When you hear like new people that are going to start doing it, right? Like they'll come up to you and be like, "And you've had these conversations. You've been in this long enough now that you've had these conversations as well." So we're talking about relative opinions here, and like when a new person was like, "Oh, I want to try, but I just don't. I'm so scared. Like, I can't deal with that anymore. Like it's just because I remember those feelings, and I remember getting over those feelings, and fighting through it, and still getting up there and doing horrible for years and years and years, and listening back to old sets from like 2017 where I absolutely shit the bed and I'm not good, and I know I'm not good, like I don't have any. I'm not going to have any pity for you if you're not even going to try. That's my deal.
Like, and the craziest,
I don't want to hear the excuses. Nobody wants to hear my excuses why I can't do things. Like
the craziest part. No, my brain's doing it again. My brain's not functioning.
Man, there's something.
I actually, you know what? I think this is my brain telling me that we might have to end the podcast because we've been shooting for quite a while.
Like
I think
he's cutting me off. He's cutting me off, just like the media is going to do after this podcast is dropped.
Yeah.
And they try to cancel me. Remember, it started here on the Laughing Point podcast hosted by Liam Anima. He canceled me.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to cancel me.
Yes, absolutely. That's what this podcast is for. Anyways.
See, look how mad he's getting that he's canceling me.
No, I actually,
he hates me.
I do think we should wrap it up, though. This has been another just wonderful
Flatter Battles, November 28th.
Flatter Battles, November 28th.
You'll see Liam there as a production assistant.
You'll see me as a production assistant. You'll also see me at the Alta Gas corporate event.
Alta Gas corporate event.
At the Curling Rink Center.
At the Curling Rink.
In Grand Prairie.
Big stage.
Big stage.
Shout out to Graham McDonald. Shout out to GMAC Concrete.
And then
that's my sponsor, not his. That's my sponsor.
But before that, November 13th, I'll be at the Silly Guys show doing a ukulele set.
That's the day before the corporate.
And I might have another set. I'm trying to think of it, but I can't remember. If I do, it will be on screen right here. And
you'll see me. You'll see me next week at Ethan January show. The Leaf one. The Leaf plan. I don't know what it's called. The Leaf show. I'll be there. And then Flatter Battles November 28th.
Yep.
You can catch me at open mics.
All around the Edmonton
scene. You can catch Liam there as well.
Yep.
And then in December, I have a show. I have a corporate event for my job. And then I'll be on a Chuckle Cult themed show as well.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'll be taking over the world in 2026.
Awesome. Well, Rick,
that's if Liam doesn't cancel me.
Thanks for coming on the podcast. Fist bump to finish it off. All right.
He hates me, guys. He's not going to post this. This is going to go to nothingness.
Have a good day, guys.
See, look how mad he is at me.
Peace.
See, he's so mad.